Hello and welcome back to the new section of this course, the gameplay actions. In this first lesson of this section, we are going to create the game timer. So when the game starts, we will have timer with minutes and seconds, and when the minutes and seconds comes to 0, we are going to kill the player and restart the game. This game timer will be super customizable, so in few clicks you will be able to change how many minutes and seconds you want your game to be. So let's get started. In order to achieve this, we have to work in the player HUD widget. So let's open up our player HUD widget. Let's go to Content, Main, Widgets, and Player HUD widget. Double click. So we have to add here a text. That's going to be minutes and seconds. First, let's add horizontal box. We can anchor this box to be in the middle of the screen. Go to Anchors, and here you can put this in the middle. Now let's drag and drop a text inside this box. So select the box and size to content. Now select the text. And you can put here 00 for example. And in the top right corner we have to make this as a variable. We can name this minutes underscore text. Now let's add another text. So this way you have to put this under minutes. So it's going to be next to it. Select the text and you can put here colons. Now let's add another text. So this one's going to be seconds. You can put here 00, make this as a variable, and name this seconds underscore text. Now these columns, they don't need to be as a variable, so we're gonna leave this as it is. Now let's go to the graph now. So let's make a function here. And we can name this function set seconds. So we have made this seconds as a variable. So this is the text. This is the text. So drag and drop and select get seconds. And here we can type set text. So set text text. Put this on the side. Now we're gonna need a variable. So let's make this variable as an integer. And let's name this seconds. So let's drag and drop this seconds variable and let's go set. So this is going to be very similar setup like the player health. Connect this. And from the return value, we can type to text. So to text integer. And you can connect this pin with the text. And this pin here. So every time we are calling this function, we are going to transform this text into a number. That's why is this return into text. And now we're going to call return node for the result of this function. So get the return from here and put into the output. Now select this output, and on the left side we can rename this seconds or just seconds return. So I'm going to double click here to make a reroute node. So the seconds function is ready. Now let's go to our event graph. Right click and type event construct. So as a reminder, this is like a event begin play. Now let's go make another function. This time is going to be set minutes. Now a small challenge for you. Try to make the same function like we did for set seconds. Give it a go and come back when you're ready. Okay, so what we need to do is create another variable, and this time is going to be minutes. So for the value of seconds and minutes over here, you don't have to worry about. I'll tell you why now in a second. So now we are in the set minutes function. Drag and drop these minutes and go set. Connect this like this. And from this return value, you can type to text. So this variable is going to text. Now we need minutes text. We need to get it. Drag a pin. And this one is set text. So we're making sure this text is going to be into text converted. Because we are going to have a countdown timer, we need to make sure it's all in a text. Now right click, return node. So connect this. And the return value of the variable, select and type minutes return. I can double click to make a readout node so we can see it clearly. Now we can close these functions. So seconds and minutes. So when the game starts, when this widget is shown on the screen, we can right click, custom event, and we can name this start game timer. So from here, drag a pin, timer, and set timer by event. So when the game starts, we're going to activate this timer. So we want this timer to tick every second. So this is going to be 1 and looping. So 1, 2, 3, 4, every second this is going to loop. So let's drag a pin from here and type clear. So clear and invalidate timer. You can detach this one. Right click, another custom event. And this time we're going to type stop game timer. We can connect this. So later on we're going to call this custom event so we can stop the timer. So when the game starts, this will be the game timer. So let's just put this a bit on the side and disconnect these pins. So we have created minutes and seconds function. So this way, when the game starts, we can set any minutes and any seconds we want, simply by putting a value here. We're going to see how in a second. Okay, we're going to come back to this later. Now let's see how we can reduce the seconds. So get the seconds. And we want every second of the timer to reduce -1. So get the seconds variable here. Get. And let's go minus. And we can hold this here. And here type 1. And now when the time starts, we're going to take 1 second. Now let's try it out. Let's say we want our game to start with 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Compile and save. Now let's start the game. So we are starting with 5 seconds and 2 minutes. It will keep on going until we fix this. So this is just for example. Let's go back. Now let's make it a bit more clear with the numbers, because we don't want the timer to look like this. It's not really nice. So let's go back to our player HUD. Let's go to the set minutes first. Now we have here set text. We have here a small drop down. So minimum integral digits. If you put here 2, so this is for the minutes. Now when we play the game, we are having 2 digits for the minutes. Now let's do this for the seconds as well. Double click to set seconds function and do the same. Drop down and minimum integral digits, put 2. So compile and save. Now let's play the game. Now we have better timer. Okay, now let's go back. We can close this minutes and seconds function. Now as the timer is working, we have to see if the seconds are 0. So let's type less, select less, let's call a branch. So every second we are checking if the seconds came to 0. So if we have 0 seconds, we want to take 1 minute out. So drag and drop set minutes function. So if we have 0 seconds, we want to take -1 minute. So get the minutes variable, get, and from here type minus. So -1, and connect this. So how the time is working, when you come to 0 seconds, we want to take -1 minute, and we want our seconds to come to 59 again, as the clock is working. So we're gonna set the seconds to 59. Now let's see, start the game. So we have 3, 2, 1, now we should see 59 and -1 minute. Okay, now let's speed this timer up to see more clear. So I'm going to put here 0.2. Now you see the timer kept on going, so we have to stop the timer. Let's go back now. So again, when we start the game, we are setting the minutes to be 2 minutes and 5 seconds. So let's make it here 0 seconds. So that way we are going to start like a proper time. Like this. Let's make it slower a bit so we can see it clearly. So this is how fast the time will gonna work. Now we have a proper time. Now let's see how we can stop the time when the time is up. So we have 0 seconds and 0 minutes. Go back to our player HUD. So this is all good. We have to do just a few more things. So every second we are going to check whether we have more time left. So if we have 0 seconds and 0 minutes, we want this timer to stop. Now let's create a macro on the left side and name this macro is time up. So this is going to be pretty easy. We are getting the seconds. Get. From here you can type less than. So we're going to choose this one, less than equal. And the same for the minutes. Get minutes. So less than. And now we have to call a branch. And from these two, we have to make sure both of them are true. So the way to do this is drag up in from here and type end. So end boolean. So this macro means that these two, they have to be 0 or less. So if it's true, something will happen. Now let's get the macro and put it in the graph. I'm just going to put this on the side, the rest of the nodes, and put this together like this. Put this a bit down. Now again, we are going to check every second whether we have seconds or minutes 0 or less. If it's true, we want to stop this timer. So right click, stop game timer. And if you have more time left, so if this is not true, which means from this false, then the timer will keep on working until it reaches this state. Now let's try it out. Now let's make this 1 minute And let's make this to run faster. Now when we start the game, the timer should stop when it's 0. You see the timer stopped. Now let's kill the player when the time is up. Go back to our player HUD. Okay, I have a small challenge for you. I want you to make the player to die when the time is up. So give it a go and come back when you are ready. Okay, so the way to do it is to right click and get player character. And from here, set health. And from here, we want to take away the whole health of the player. So minus 100. So then the timer will stop and the player will die. Now let's try it out. The player is dead. Now let's go back to our player HUD again. Remember, when the game starts, you're setting how much minutes you want over here, and seconds you should leave it to 0, because the time starts from 0 usually. So for minutes, let's say I want here to be 20 minutes, so when the game starts, I'm starting from 20 minutes. Now when it comes to 0 seconds, we have 18 minutes and 59 seconds. And this will keep on going until we have 0 seconds and 0 minutes left. And when we are having game over HUD, if you remember, if you go back to content drawer, open up the player. Now let's find the player health. So player health main code. So when we die, when we have a 0 health, the player collapses and we are showing this game over screen. Okay, so we can put this a bit more tidy. Now we have perfect game timer. Okay, this is going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.